In today's video, I want to talk about something that's probably going to get me into a little bit of trouble, but I'm going to be real and I'm going to be honest and I'm going to tell the truth, and I'm going to do this entire video without editing any of it because I believe that when you tell the truth, you don't need to edit your words. And so the purpose of today's video is to discuss whether or not we should be questioning Tylenol, whether or not we should be questioning science. Or must we leave that strictly to the scientists? Because over the last several years, I have heard that statement several times. You're not a scientist. You shouldn't be discussing this.
A scientist.
I don't have to be a scientist to know that.
Yes, you do.
No, Brian, shut.
Full disclosure, I am far from a scientist. I am not a doctor. I'm not an expert. I am an individual who barely graduated high school and I run a YouTube channel. I'm not giving you any medical advice. I'm just telling you what I believe to be the truth based on my own personal journey. I will also say, if you are clicking on this video and watching me right now and your first thought is, I wonder if he's on my team or the other team, we're going to talk about that too, and how dangerous that is and how foolish it is that I am seeing people in the world right now making serious health decisions on behalf of their children based solely on tribal team politics. You're either with us or you're against us. There are people that are literally making these decisions or shutting out information or accepting information because the information's coming from their party or it's coming from the party that they're not involved in. And I just want to say this real quick before we jump into the discussion on whether or not individuals should be talking about science or we should be leaving that solely to the scientists. The reason that our food system is broken and corrupt and our healthcare system is broken and corrupt and our pharmaceutical system is broken and corrupt is because of profit. Is because they are able to fool us with propaganda and they are able to scare us. And they are able to train our brains with years and years of PR to believe these things that aren't true so that we end up doing more of the same that is getting us sicker and sicker. You look around in the world right now, and 9 out of 10 people have poor metabolic health. 70% of us are overweight. 1 out of 3 of us have a fatty liver. And 1 in 2 people watching this video right now will be diagnosed with cancer. And we've accepted all of that as normal. And that's what they want. And another thing they want, and this is going to make some people mad and some people are questioning right now, is Kerry on my team or is he on the other team? I am on neither team. And I'm sorry if that sounds like a political answer. I refuse to have my buttons pushed. That is exactly what is happening. You look around in the world right now and something as sacred as our children's health is being mismanaged because we are so caught up into the politics of it all. This team tribal sport. You're either with us or you're against us. And it needs to stop. Why is this happening? If we are divided, they have more power over us. If we are divided, they make more profits. And that's what all of this comes down to, is what are the incentives? The incentives are profit. The incentives are they have us scared and afraid, and they have more power. And I refuse to participate in that. And I think a lot of people are participating in it unknowingly. So I just wanted to get that out there to the world. And I want you to question, if you're watching this, how come every time you turn on the news, you turn on social media, you turn on your technology, every single thing is us against them, and whoever them is, it is a catastrophe. It is the end of the world. It is a matter of life or death. This is it. Yet here we are, still alive. Every single thing is a catastrophe. Every single thing is the end of the world. This is it. All of our rights are going to be lost and we're going to die. It's the end right here. Isn't that a little odd to you? Isn't it a little odd that every single election is precisely 49.91 to 50.0111? Split right down the middle. That's exactly where they want us, and I refuse to participate in that. That doesn't mean I don't love my country. That doesn't mean I don't make decisions for my family. That doesn't mean I don't believe in local government. It just means I refuse to participate in the debacle I see that is going on right now, where people are making health decisions for the most precious in our society, the most vulnerable, our children, and they're making them solely on whether or not they're in their team or they're in the other team. I heard that my team is going for this, so I'm going to just gobble down a bunch of Tylenol right now, or I'm never going to have Tylenol again. It's foolish. It is foolish. If you're questioning what my politics are, I have decided that I will make my decisions on what I feel is right and what I feel is just, and frankly, what I feel Jesus would do. And if you don't believe in that and that's not for you, I don't care. I'm not telling you what to do. I will make my decisions based on what I feel is morally right, not on some party line or not because someone said hearsay of hearsay of hearsay that I have to believe this or the world is going to come to an end so that big media can fill their pockets and get richer and richer on us walking around in life scared like sheep. I refuse to participate in that. So with that out of the way, I want to talk about this. You shouldn't question the science. Leave that to the scientists. I have heard that statement several times over the last several years. And my argument to that is, and this is my truthful, non-political argument, because everyone right now is either going to tune in or they're going to tune out because they want to see what side of the party I'm on. My truthful answer is, yes, we should be questioning everything. Why would we not be questioning Tylenol? Do we feel that Tylenol is some altruistic group of people out there for the betterment of our health, the betterment of the health of our children? They are a multi-billion-dollar corporation whose sole incentive in this world is to make a little bit more profit than they made last quarter, than they made the previous quarter, than they made the previous quarter. Not a single bit of their motivation is the betterment of our health and humanity. Their entire purpose is profit. Of course we should question Tylenol. And this whole argument on, does Tylenol cause autism? Why can't we question this? Why can't we explore this when this is affecting children? Just tune it out and just ignore it or just say this is crazy. First of all, I don't think anyone even said that Tylenol causes autism, but a lot of people are coming back and they're saying, I took Tylenol and my child didn't have autism. And that's proof. There's a thing called confounding variables. There's probably a million different things, and Tylenol could definitely be part of one of them, but we're never going to know because we're not allowed to talk about it because we're not scientists. Now, when we say, I'm going to get back to that in just a second, but when we say only scientists can talk about this, I want to drill down on that right now. Which scientists are we leaving this task to? Think about that. Is there a group of scientists that are out there for the betterment of humanity that are unbiased and they are paid and they have careers as scientists to just do what is best for humanity? Show me who these scientists are that we're leaving this to. Because the last I checked, if you're a scientist, you have a job, you're employed. If you're employed, you're getting paid. If you're getting paid, you are biased. Should we be trusting the science of Tylenol to the scientists that are paid for by the multi-billion-dollar for-profit pharmaceutical medication company Tylenol? Because Tylenol employs scientists. Should we be listening to them for the science on whether or not Tylenol is safe? Should we be listening to competitors of Tylenol who employ scientists? Should those scientists be trusted who have a vested interest against Tylenol? What scientists are there that are out there doing science for the betterment of humanity with no bias whatsoever? I want to know who this group is that we are leaving science to. There's this blanket statement all the time. Leave that to the scientists. Who is doing it? I want to investigate. I have questions. The purpose of this video is, should we be questioning Tylenol? We should be questioning everything when we are being told to do things by multi-billion-dollar for-profit corporations whose sole incentives are to make more and more profit. Their incentive is not our health. If their incentive was our health, I can gosh darn guarantee you a lot of us would be a lot more healthier. If their incentive is profit, which it is, you end up with a society of sick people where 70% of us are 70% of us are overweight, 90% of us are metabolically unhealthy, 1 in 3 of us have fatty liver, and 1 in 2 of us are going to get cancer. You end up with people that are chronically on medication for years and years and decades, and they're lifelong. We should be questioning all of that. We should be questioning Tylenol absent from the discussion around autism altogether. Why are we taking Tylenol? Again, I'll use my football field analogy. Imagine a 100-yard football field. Imagine every blade of grass along that whole 100 yards. Billions of blades of grass, right? On the very edge of the football field, right here where my fingertip is, there's one blade of grass. Do you know what that blade of grass represents? That represents Tylenol, the usage of Tylenol. And the football field represents the entirety of humanity on the planet Earth. For 99.99% of the time humans have walked this earth, we did not have any Tylenol. And we did pretty just darn fine, in my opinion. What did we do before Tylenol? We should be questioning this. We should also be questioning the fact that every single pharmaceutical out there, without exception, has side effects. And I believe that in most cases, those side effects have a cost. And that cost oftentimes isn't immediate. You don't take the Tylenol and have an immediate effect. Oftentimes, the cost, the unintended consequence of that medication could happen years and years down the road or decades down the road. It could happen 30 years later. Or it could be a confounding variable amongst other things that are causing a health issue down the road, such as autism. So I'm not here to debate whether or not Tylenol is causing autism, because I'm going to get a whole bunch of comments saying, I took Tylenol, my kid didn't get autism. That's not my argument. My argument is we should be discussing it, we should be questioning it, and we should be exploring all aspects of this that I can guarantee you the Tylenol company is not exploring, or if they are, they're not sharing it with us because that doesn't make them more money, which is their sole incentive. There's some talks going around that Tylenol may inhibit glutathione, and then when we take vaccines, which we're giving many to children nowadays, the aluminum in them is causing issues with the liver that it wouldn't have absent the Tylenol. Seems plausible, seems perfectly reasonable, seems at least like we should possibly explore it when we're talking about the health of our children, rather than just saying, nope, we can't talk about that because we need to leave it to the scientists. We leave it to the scientists. In other words, what they're saying is science is silence. Trust us, trust the science, just shut up and go take your medication and give us more and more money, and we're never going to solve this very important problem when it's affecting children. We should be questioning other things too, like the fact that our food system contains hormone-disrupting food dyes, carcinogens that are banned in other countries and they're just perfectly legal here. Why aren't we questioning that? Why aren't we questioning statins? I was on statins for 8 years. I didn't question those because back then, when I took those in my 30s, I took them for 8 years. I was told, this is science. This is settled. We've done studies on this. I'm just a dumb idiot homesteader. I don't have any right to ask questions. In retrospect, I wish with every fiber of my being that I would have questioned that more and looked into it more. I would have learned that only 1 in 100 people that take a statin see any benefit. 99 out of 100 people that take a statin see zero benefit. I would have also learned, as I alluded to earlier, that every single medication we take has side effects, including statins. And the side effects of statins are muscle aches, memory loss, fatigue. I had all of those things. I suffered with all of those things for 8 years, taking a medication that only gives 1 out of 100 people a benefit. We should question why statins are given out like candy. And there's studies coming out now that we're not allowed to question because I'm not a scientist, that are showing that statins lead to Alzheimer's and dementia. And it's being masked because doctors are passing out statins like they're candy. It's the richest pharmaceutical of all time. Don't question that. We can't question that. It makes more money than we could even wrap our brains around. And they're putting everyone on it. So everyone that is older is on a statin, and people that are older get dementia and Alzheimer's, and we just say, well, that's just old age. Well, there's a confounding variable in there. Almost every single one of them is on statins, but we can't question that. We should be questioning it. We should be questioning why antidepressant medications are given to children when on the label of the antidepressant medication, it says that it drastically increases the odds that that individual is going to self-harm or end themselves. Shouldn't we be questioning that? What about the fact that we have children walking around with pre-diabetes, diabetes? We have people losing limbs. Right now, if you look at diabetes, there are more medicines in the world right now for type 2 diabetes than there's ever been in the history of mankind. And simultaneously, but we can't question this because trust the science, simultaneously, the multi-billion-dollar pharmaceutical industry around diabetes, more diabetes medications than ever before, the prevalence of diabetes is higher than it's ever been in the history of mankind. That should blow our mind. That's the science we should trust. People are getting their limbs amputated. Never throughout the history of man have individuals had to have their limbs amputated from the foods they're eating, which, by the way, is the root cause of diabetes. We have more pharmaceuticals for type 2 diabetes than ever in the history of mankind, and we have more diabetes than ever. Shouldn't we have put a little bit of a dent in type 2 diabetes with all these pharmaceuticals? Shouldn't we put a little bit of a dent in depression, anxiety issues that we see in the world? It's something like 25% of individuals are on mental health medications right now. It's insane. We should be questioning all of these things. We should be questioning why you, 1 in 2 of you watching this right now, it's going to be either you or it's going to be me. 1 in 2 of us will be diagnosed with cancer. You heard that right. Let that sink in. Look around at your family. I have a family of 6. 3 out of 6 of us. 3 out of 6 of us will be diagnosed with cancer in our lifetime. Should we be questioning that, or should we leave that to the science? And very interestingly, when you or I am diagnosed with cancer, you're going to go to the doctor and you're going to trust the science and you're not going to question anything. And just, it's a coincidence. It's science and it's coincidence that you are going to be put on the most profitable treatments of all time, and solely the most profitable treatments of all time. And we will discuss nothing of any of the free treatments out there, like the incredible work that Professor Seyfried is doing, cancer as a metabolic disease, with metabolic treatments that are free, by the way. Those will never in this day and age, hopefully we change it, but right now, those options will never be mentioned to you, despite the fact there are countless people all over the world that have used Professor Seyfried's metabolic therapy. We've known cancer feeds on sugar since the days of Otto Warburg over 100 years ago. There are people out there that are saying this is saving their lives, and you will hear nothing of it. You will hear nothing of it. Coincidentally, you will only hear of the treatments that are most profitable. We should be questioning all of this. I can give you a little bit of the answer, but it is worth exploring more. A little bit of the answer of all of this that I just mentioned is just money. It is all money. Every incentive is to make more money. The incentive isn't to make us healthier. Now, if we go back to Tylenol, Tylenol is a multi-billion-dollar company built for profit. It is okay to question entities who are making billions of dollars. And that is their sole incentive. Why would it not be okay to question that? Why would it not be okay to question other medications that make billions of dollars? For example, the global vaccine market last year was worth an estimated $87 billion and growing. Here's something that I like to question. If you are roughly my age, I just turned 45. I'm thankful, grateful, blessed, and healthier than I've ever been on my entire life because I've returned to a proper human diet and I fixed my metabolic health, which interestingly is the root cause for nearly every health problem I've mentioned thus far in this video. It's all reversible by fixing your metabolic health. That is the root cause. That is what we should be discussing. But it is very interesting, and something that I think we should be questioning is the fact that a baby born nowadays will have more vaccines than I myself has had my entire life as a 45-year-old man. Should we be questioning that when the global vaccine market is worth $87 billion and growing? And if you look at it and you adjust for inflation, it's like 10x what it was when I was a baby. Do you really honestly believe that all of that is just for the betterment of humanity and it's not to make more and more profit? Really? Do you honestly believe that there are scientists out there doing science for the betterment of our health? Do you honestly believe the science you hear in these nutrition studies that they replay over and over again on the nightly news and on social media. Eggs are going to kill you. Eggs are going to save your life. Eggs are going to give you a heart attack. Eggs are the best thing in the world for you. All of these conflicting trust the science studies that each and every single one of them are bought and paid for. Cost millions of dollars to do these studies. You think people are doing them for the betterment of humanity? Do you think people are out there, there's some committee out there that are doing this for our health? These are all done with a perverse incentive to make more profits. They're trying to lead you towards this profitable pharmaceutical that's going to make them billions, or they're trying to lead you to more processed food, which is going to make them billions. They're trying to keep you sick. They're trying to keep you distracted, and they're trying to keep you divided. And for a lot of people, it's working. And it's sad for me to see, because it's a miracle that any one of us are alive right now. We could be thriving. We could be busy living, but we're busy dying, and we're busy ruminating, and we're busy worrying about this imaginable other side that's out to get us. And it's a catastrophe in every situation. Anxiety's through the roof. 1 in 4 of us have mental health as a result of it, and we're not living our best lives. I refuse to participate in those things. For every medication in the world, including Tylenol, there is a side effect. Whether we realize that side effect in the immediate or in the long term, there is a side effect. And we have been programmed and we have been conditioned to believe that these things are just here as a benefit. They're the betterment of us, or they're negligible. They don't have any repercussions whatsoever. And I hope at the very least, parents that love their children, and all parents love their children, but they're really looking out for their children. I really hope and I pray that you will make decisions for the health of your children based on logic, truth, common sense, not politics, not their team against our team, not so-and-so said this on social media. Look at the honest truth of it. What is the root cause of every health issue in the world? In almost every case, it's poor metabolic health. What is the root cause of someone getting a fever? Is having a fever a necessary part of overcoming an infection for humans? Is having a fever something that humans have endured since the start of time? Is having a fever actually something good for us in the long run? Whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Maybe it strengthens our immune system, and then the next time we're saved from something that maybe would have killed us otherwise. I don't know. I'm not giving any medical advice on what you should do if you have a fever or your child does. The only thing I'm encouraging here in this video is that we should be questioning everything and not making decisions based on politics. And we should look to the root cause of every health issue that we have, whether it's depression or type 2 diabetes or autoimmune disorders or any of these other chronic illnesses that we are so quick to pop a pill for and not realizing the long-term unintended consequences and repercussions of taking those medications. So, should we question Tylenol? Should we question science? 100%. Yes. If we don't question those things, we give our power away. We should be questioning everything. And we should be realizing we're not questioning this high and mighty science when we're questioning whether or not we should take Tylenol. We are questioning a multi-billion-dollar for-profit pharmaceutical company whose sole intention is to make more and more money. If you look at the parent company of Tylenol and you look at their tagline, their goal is to make money. That's exactly what it says in their tagline. They are pharmaceutical for-profit companies. There isn't a world of non-biased, well-meaning scientists that are just doing science for the betterment of humanity. There are scientists that work for corporations under specific things. Now, do I want a scientist that works for, say, 3M or some chemical company to be telling me whether or not Tylenol is good? Are they studied in the mechanisms and the underlying confounding variables that go into play when someone takes Tylenol because they have a label of scientist for some 3M chemical company? It's crazy. I will end it there because I'm rambling now. We went about 25 minutes, one take, no edits. If we don't question, we give our power away. Question everything. Question everything. And please take a big step back. Take a big deep breath. Go walk outside in the beautiful woods. Be thankful, grateful, blessed you're alive in this moment. Any moment could be your last moment on this earth. You could be taking your last breath and your heart could be beating its last beat. Do you want to be doing that scared and afraid over some catastrophe that has been stirred up by the media to divide us further and further? Or do you want to be doing it walking in the beautiful woods, looking up at the beautiful sunshine, realizing the miracle of life, spending time with your family, loving them, being the best human being that you can be, full of gratitude, thankful, grateful, blessed, happy, breathing God's fresh air, looking at the birds in the sky, appreciating things? Or do you want to be scared, curled up in the fetal position on the ground, divided, arguing with each other, and making decisions based on tribal, team, sport, politics? It's not for me. I'm going to do everything I can within my circle of control to be the best human being I can be and do the best I can in the world. And I don't believe 1% of my energy focused on that team tribal politics is going to have any benefit whatsoever. I believe I would have 1,000 times more benefit doing the best I can as an individual, making the decisions within my circle of control. I hope that helps some people out there. And I'm sure some people are going to be fired up in the comments. If you're interested in learning more what I'm doing, I'm filming a documentary called Healing Humanity. We followed 60 interviews all over the world of individuals who have found incredible healing by treating the root cause of the problem, which is also the underlying basis of this entire video. All of these health issues I mentioned are easily reversed when we fix our metabolic health, which is the root cause of every single health issue in the world for the most part. And the solution is not medication. The solution is fixing our metabolic health. But that is a free option, and therefore the only thing you've ever heard and you've been conditioned to believe is medicine. You want to learn more? I'm going to show you our trailer right now to end this video. It's 2 or 3 minutes long, and you can see the incredible healing when you return to a proper human diet. If you want to support what we're doing, please visit healinghumanity.movie. You can watch our trailer there. You can share our trailer. And if you like what I'm saying and you want to hear more of it, you can sign up for our free email newsletter. I'll only send you the important stuff. I'll tell you when the documentary is about to drop. We'll send you our new trailer that we're working on if you sign up for our email newsletter. And you can buy our shirts. Healing Humanity shirts, every single penny from these goes towards our documentary. I don't want to make a penny. I, out of principle, want to do something for the passion and the love of it. That is why I'm doing this documentary, so that when I die and I take my last breath and my heart beats its last beat, I know that at least I tried to do something for the goodness of it, for the passion of it, for the sake of it, and not for the profit. Not everything in this world has to be done solely for greed and profit. HealingHumanity.movie. Thank you so much for watching.
When I walk into a grocery store and see thousands of items on the shelf, that does not register in my brain as food. And of course it's not. This has never been food to any human being for the entirety of human history.
We've been soaking up the wrong information for so long.
Everything I thought I knew about nutrition turned out to be wrong. And it doesn't take that long to figure it out if you look at the actual science.
Your body, even though you feel like it betrayed you years ago, you actually betrayed it.
I was following the rules and getting sicker for it.
I was hopeless. I was really hopeless, and I thought, yeah, this is the way it's gonna be.
I don't think I would have made it. I honestly don't. I mean, I was 69 pounds, almost hooked up to a feeding tube.
I probably had 30 days left until I was dead.
My thought was, I'm gonna die, and I'm not gonna have a chance to tell everybody that I love them one last time.
It's just more pills and more pills and more pills and more sickness and more disease.
I look at people now on the street and I see them not doing well, and I just wonder what the food that they're eating is doing to them.
We're learning from our past way of eating that somehow we're damaged and diseased.
I want to live in a world where every doctor is not managing disease, but trying to get to the root cause of why people are sick in the first place.
That's what being a doctor's all about, isn't it? Being able to take somebody who's got no hope and give them hope. And it's a real hope. It's a true hope. It's not a false hope. I'm not interested in any other profession.
There you go, right in my face. Perfect.
I just remember being so excited about being alive again.
Changing my diet, absolutely saved my life.
Plain and simple, I would not be here today.
I have my life back.
It was like with a new lens, new eyes, was using them for the first time.
Even though I'm 5.5 years in, I still wake up feeling impressed.
I felt the best I ever felt in my life.
I never thought I'd have a life. I really thought my life was over. And if I hadn't have found this lifestyle, that I would not be sitting here with you today. No way.
I'm 82 years old, which is just a chronological number.
Pull yourself up, you swing your leg over, and you're over.
It's not healthcare, it's sick care. We don't need doctors if we're eating properly. We don't need medication.